What's going on, everybody? This is BBQ Juice, and I wanted to talk today about board installs. And I figured what better way than to talk about Wagner from Under Night and Percival from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. So, these two characters work with the install mechanic. Though they do slightly work differently and have different benefits through each game, which I'm going to get into, but one of the main things is that sword installs give added damage and also better proration on combos or the ability to extend combos. I'm going to talk about both of them in their respective games, talk about the differences, and in the end, talk about who I think benefits more in their game from the mechanic. So let's get right into it. But first, we're going to start with Wagner. Wagner actually has two different installs. Wagner has a sword install and a shield install, which both do different things. So her sword install gives her a follow-up off of her fireball attack. Basically, her 236 recovers in the air, which makes Wagner very plus on block, gives her the frame advantage, but also gives her the opportunity to follow up after the attack with an additional 236 or whatever you'd like in the air for that matter. Both of her dash attacks, 66B and 66C, become a 2-hit as opposed to a single hit, plus the added damage, as well as it adds sword chip damage. Now for her shield install is actually very interesting. So it also gives chip damage to shield attacks, or 3C, or E in the air, but it adds guard point to her force function and her 214 shield dash attack. So that means with the shield buff installed, both the force function and the 214 are projectile invincible for a certain amount of time before it's active, basically. With shield install on, Wagner can do her shield dash attack and literally eat through oncoming projectiles. So that definitely is a big plus for her, considering she doesn't actually have a projectile, but she has something to counteract them if somebody is, zoning her out. Then not only that, but she also has her EX shield install, which does burn 100 meter, but has multiple pros to it. A lot to be gained from. Wagner's installs don't actually do damage themselves, with exception to her EX install. Her EX install does do damage and can be used as a combo ender. It's plus 9 frame advantage on block, which is crazy. Depending on the other buffs, the other installs she has, whether she has just a sword, just a shield, both or none, equipped at the time that she uses her EX version, it changes the outcome. With no buffs installed, she gains both buffs, but the opponent can tech afterwards. With one buff installed, she gains the other one she didn't have and gives knockdown to the opponent. And then if she has both buffs installed, it uses both buffs, it inflicts more damage, and then it also inflicts burn, which deals damage over time, which is definitely a useful mechanic for her, and as well as it gives a knockdown to the opponent. Wagner definitely benefits from her installs a great amount. They're pretty essential in her gameplay, as well as they are for Percival. They add a good proration, especially to her force function. Her fully charged force function with the shield install gives crazy damage proration, and it can lead to big damage combos. Her sword install too, it gives the benefit of the follow-up. I'll just show a few different combo routes you can use with these installs to give an example, because you can easily get 3.8, 3.9 without spending any meter whatsoever. So definitely a big pro, definitely a big plus. Like I said, a lot of damage proration, a lot of added damage bonus. So she definitely does well from them. So with all that being said, I'd have to say Wagner eats pretty good from her installs. So now let's talk about Percival. So Percival is also somebody that uses installs, but he uses them slightly different in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Percival actually works with orbs for his installs. So he has 3 installs. He has a light, a medium, and then this heavy, which is almost like an EX, because when you use the heavy heavy specials in Grand Blue, you have to wait on cooldown longer, but nonetheless, the light gives you 1 orb and has the fastest recovery. The medium install gives you 3 orbs, and the heavy install gives you 5 orbs. But like I said, then you have to wait on the cooldown of the move. For all 3, it does have damage if you're like right on top of someone and you do it, or if you're close enough, you can combo 2U into one of the installs. Now for Percival, his installs also do a number of things. They give added damage. There's an added damage buff to the medium and heavy versions of his specials, his Fireball, his DP, and his 214 dash startup attack. They all give damage buffs, but they also add they change the knock back, knock up, however you want to say it, in ways that they can be used to extend combos. So whereas a combo with no installs in the corner would do 4,000, with the installs it might do 4.6. It definitely gives an added damage buff, but it also, like I said, it extends combos and adds proration, because now certain attacks have a knockdown that didn't before. Like the 214, either the medium or the heavy, if you do the dash and then do the light move, it actually knocks down now, or knocks up, you could say. Beforehand it didn't, it just did damage, it hit them, that was it. Fireball with the install goes full screen, whereas it didn't before. Fireball has more damage, Fireball has more proration, it's much better with the installs. DP also, DP does more damage. DP with an orb, the heavy version of the DP, 623H, not only has more damage, but it is a longer attack. It has more hits to it now, so it goes higher up to 214C, or it could be off of, I think, 214M. But if you do the heavy follow-up with the right spacing, it actually does more damage and it connects better, basically. So with Percival, his installs, the benefits from them sometimes can be more circumstantial. For example, Percival can annihilate with installs if he gets counter hit. And I say that because Percival's 214H with the B follow-up, the move where he spins and it looks like an overhead, it's not overhead, but on counter hit gives a nasty ground bounce that in the corner can lead to 7.5k damage. It's crazy. Both Wagner and Percival installs are a essential point of their game plan. Wagner is a very pressure heavy rundown character that with installs you really have to respect the pressure and hold that block, because if you try to mash at the wrong point, hard point, shield smack that force function, or you get hit with that 214 on the install, you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna eat good off of that. Same with Percival. He's not a pressure rush down character. He's a little bit slower in the movement, and he's kind of here to be more of a footsie and poke character. His 5H, just his standing heavy normal, has very far range, and even his 5M, his standing medium normal, they both have very good range. So the benefits that he gets from his installs definitely add to his game plan, definitely add to, like I said, his fireballs. His DP is eating. Then his 214 dash attack with the follow-ups also gets very, very good buff. So overall, I personally really like playing both of these characters in their respective games. Percival in Grand Blue Fantasy is probably one of my most favorite people to play. Just like his options, because with installs he has a lot. And Wagner is somebody that I picked up more recent in Under Night when after UNICLR came out, but I really like Wagner now that I've given it a shot. Out of the two, I would say one benefiting more from the installs in their game, I might give the very slight nudge to Wagner, only because she has a lot of buffs that come from her installs, and the way that they can be used mid combo is also really good. Now that's only because of the way that the mechanics and the combo system are in Under Night. Had it been different in Grand Blue, where he could use installs mid combo, he might be doing better, because he can pull some pretty high damage off of those installs, and he doesn't have to spend his meter, he doesn't have to use Skybound Arts now. He can pull some pretty good damage off just the installs. So both of them very fun characters to play. I mean, like, you can't not like the fire sword, flame swordsman, fame swordswoman. Wagner, the executioner, tough ass, like you can't deny it. And then Percival, like, this man, the man's handsome, bro. Look at the man's hair, bro. Like that's King of Flames. It's the boy, Percy, Big Percy. So all in all, 2 fun characters, 2 fun games. Check them out if you haven't checked them out. Under Night, with the long name, and just call it UNICLR. Under Night and Birds, CLR. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, awesome games by awesome makers. You know, if you play both of these games, what's your feedback? What do you think about these 2 characters? How do you feel about Wagner and Percival? How do you feel that they do in their respective games with installs? Do you think that they tend to benefit from their installs, or do you think it's somewhat of a gimmick? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious. Nonetheless, if you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Check out some of my other videos for other fighting game content. With that said, this is BBQ Juice. I will catch you next time.